Do you long for real love but aren't even sure what a healthy relationship is supposed to look like? If you've had a slew of relationships that have felt dysfunctional or unfulfilling or anxiety-ridden, it can be really hard to know what a relationship can and is supposed to feel like. So this episode is going to illuminate 5 of the greenest of green flags to look for in your next relationship. And be sure to stick around to the end of the episode, where we will pull an oracle card with a specific message that you can use this week to stay more conscious in your relationships and your healing. Welcome to Lucid Living with Bree, the podcast helping women to heal from the mindfuck of confusing relationships and break out of those frustrating cycles so that you can step into your best self and attract and hold healthy love. I am your host, Bree Walta, relationship clarity coach and EFT certified practitioner. Let's dive in. Welcome back to this episode. Today is one of my favorite topics. I love sharing the possibilities in relationships and healthy relationships and what they look like, because in my own experience, I had a very narrow understanding of what relationships were. And this understanding came from my experience. It also came from what I was shown in childhood, and that became really my reality. It was a very, very narrow window of relationships are supposed to feel hard. Relationships are one-sided. Relationships are where I lose myself completely in this other person and no longer maintain independence. I had a lot of limiting beliefs around what relationships were. And so as I went through my healing process, it really started to open and expand, wow, people actually interact like this. People actually are happy in their relationships. Wow, people are actually both working towards a healthy relationship and both moving that relationship forward. It really started to blow my mind open of what I could expect from a relationship. So I want you to soak in this episode as what is possible for you. So even if you've never experienced any of these green flags, know that it is possible. Know that there are men out there or women out there who want the same things as you. They want a healthy dynamic, and they are also doing their work in order to show up healthfully. This concept is part of one of my larger modules in my signature program, Becoming. And every time that a client goes through this module, it's like light bulbs turn on. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize that that was something that I could expect. I didn't realize that that was something that wasn't needy or wasn't too demanding, but it was just the baseline level of a healthy relationship, baseline level of what you can expect in a relationship. So I'm excited to bring a piece of that module to you today to just get your mind start moving and churning into these possibilities. So let's talk about the green flags. The first green flag is that both people can set healthy boundaries. Let me emphasize the word both in this sentence, because two people who are emotionally mature and who understand themselves enough to be able to regulate when they're triggered and then communicate what they need to their partner will have a more easeful time in relationship than one person who can do that and the other person who cannot. So if you are in your work right now to really understand what you're feeling, understand how to self-regulate, understand how to communicate what you need, you are setting yourself up so beautifully to be able to do that in a relationship and hold space for your partner to do that in a relationship. If you're still kind of trying to figure out this boundary thing and this communication thing, there is a really good episode, number 6, called How to Set Boundaries That Work Without Feeling Guilty. So I encourage you to listen to that after you finish this episode. It'll really help you wrap your head around how boundaries work and why they're so important. One thing I'll say about boundaries here is that boundaries are important to protect you, they're important to protect the other person, and they're important to protect the relationship. So they're protecting you because you are expressing what you need, right? You're finding that safety and you are requesting that from the other person. They're important for the other person because if you're not requesting what you need, resentment's going to grow. And then you are going to erupt in some form that's not mature or conducive to the health of the relationship. So you being able to articulate and communicate your needs saves the other person from having to feel your pent-up resentment then explode, and then therefore that potentially hurting the relationship. So communicating your boundaries from both sides, both people have equal amount of needs. We all are worthy of having our needs met, and being in relationship with somebody who can request what they need to without it being a demand or an ultimatum is the way that we create really healthy living ecosystems within our relationships. The second green flag is a safety to communicate. So feeling emotionally safe to share your feelings and your needs. When we share vulnerably with somebody, we are giving a piece of ourself, a piece of our tender heart to that other person. And that should be held in a sacredness. That should not be used against you later. That shouldn't be something that comes up as a jab and a fight down the road, okay? If you are deeply respecting your partner and your partner deeply respects you, you want to be able to understand them. You want to know what they feel and why they feel, and you come to the conversations from a place of curiosity so that you can better understand, so both people can feel understood. And then if there's a disagreement, there's space to create that compromise. If there's not curiosity, there's armor, right? There's a lot of like, I need to show up from this I'm going into battle place so that I can defend what I need because I somehow intuit or anticipate that you are going to make it wrong or you are going to make me at fault. So having a partner who can hold that curious space is really important. And that's, you're going to come against differing opinions in a relationship. This is, of course, you are, because you are your own person. They are their own person with their own history and baggage and beliefs and opinions. And you aren't going to see eye to eye on everything. I say that like pretty confidently. There will be times when something comes up. So to be able to talk through that with curiosity and compassion and vulnerability makes the experience a whole lot better than both of you trying to fight each other to be heard. There's a saying, I'm not sure who said it originally, but if you show up in conflict with the need to win, it means that you both have lost. So we want to adopt this, it's you and me against the problem, not you are the problem. We're not fighting our partner. We are with our partner in order to solve the problem at hand, or solve the issue where one person is feeling X, Y, or Z, or one person is not getting their needs met. So you don't have to agree on everything, but the importance of this green flag, the safety to communicate, is that there is space. There's space for all the emotions and opinions to be heard. The third green flag is that you can be playful. So this is one, I don't know if you've heard in a lot of the listicles about green flags or red flags, but it really, for me, helps my body to understand when I'm safe in a relationship. So if I can be goofy, if there's laughter and like silly sounds and inside jokes and just acting like a kid with my partner, then I know that I feel safe, because we're not going to let our guard down, specifically in letting out these more vulnerable parts of ourselves, if we don't feel safe. So in a relationship, it is such a beautiful green flag sign that you trust the other person enough to let your inner children play together. There are moments with my now fiance that we'll be in this really goofy dynamic, and it's like, oh my God, my little girl's playing with your little boy. And it's so just genuine. and authentic and really, really beautiful. And it helps to deepen your connection on a different level than communicating, a different level than expressing in words. It's like your body is playfully opening to your partner. The fourth green flag is that your partner is consistently trustworthy. So consistency is the like highlight, bolded, underlined word in this statement. What is this person doing consistently? In healthy relationships, they're showing up in a trustworthy way. They're showing up in integrity. And you are too, right? Both people are. But when you're looking at your partner's behavior, what are they doing consistently? Are they consistently showing their actions aligned with their words? Are they consistently keeping their promises? And are they consistently taking your requests or your needs seriously? And are they consistently taking accountability if they make a mistake? So we don't have to be perfect, okay? There's moments and things that you'll do where you will upset your partner or you will inadvertently hurt their feelings. But can you show up and can they show up from that place of accountability? Like, oh man, I'm so sorry that came out of my mouth. That had to be hurtful. Tell me how you feel. Trust is built when there is consistent repair after rupture, where both people feel resolution. So are they consistently showing up in ways that make you feel safe, in ways that make you trust them, in ways that show you that they care? Or are they consistently showing up in ways that you feel anxious, in lies, right? Gathering your data around what are they consistently doing? If they are consistently showing you that they are a trustworthy person and in integrity with themselves, awesome, green flag, keep going. And then the fifth green flag is this ability to act as a team. So in relationships, we want to be really careful of not enmeshing, right? We don't want to lose ourselves in another person and just become like a blob of one. We want to maintain our interdependence, maintain our sense of self, and attach and move together in life. And inherently, when we attach to somebody, our decisions are then going to affect them on some degree. So when we make big decisions, it comes from a place of togetherness and not a place of, well, this is my life and just deal with it. So for instance, let's say you get a job opportunity and this job opportunity is taking you from working at home to having to be in the office. And let's say your commute is 30 minutes away. That job decision, even though it might be more pay, even though it might have all of these perks, that extra commute, that change in dynamic with your partner, if you guys live together specifically, is going to affect them because now you're going to have an additional hour every day where you aren't available to help with home things or kid things or dinner things or whatever things. So the decision to take that job, even though your partner isn't doing the job with you, does affect your partner. So when you come to relationships from this place of, this is a team decision, it helps your partner feel understood and it's valuing your partner in your decision. You're acting as a team. And if there are things that need to be figured out to make the decision work for both parts of the team, then again, you're opening that space for communication. Another piece of acting like a team, in addition to just communicating well as a team and making decisions as a team, is that all responsibilities are shared. So both people are actively participating in keeping this living organism of your relationship as healthy as possible. So both people are participating in their own self-work to be able to better show up in the relationship, because how I show up affects how you show up and therefore affects our relationship. Both people are actively participating in the duties around the house, or you're splitting these household chores in ways that feel balanced and good for both of you. It's not one person is responsible for everything, and the other person gets to just kick off their shoes when they get home and be waited on. Right? It's like we're both partners. We're partners in this relationship. And if we're both showing up with equal amounts, then again, that resentment is less likely to grow. And if you have the ability to communicate, when resentment starts to grow, you have the ability to nip it in the bud much easier. So is this person that you're engaging with showing up as a teammate? Do you want them as like your partner in life? Because that's a big role. That's a big honor to be with somebody in that equal partnership and to be seen as an equal partner. So in general, if I had to sum this into one sentence of like, what does a healthy relationship look like? What does the green flags mean? It means in your relationship that you feel loved, safe, respected more often than you feel anxious, confused, hopeless, and alone. Okay? The scale of toxicity, right? If we have healthy on one side and toxicity on the other, healthy is feeling loved, safe, respected most of the time. Toxic is feeling anxious, confused, hopeless, unsafe most of the time. And there are moments that you might slide, right? If you're in a healthy relationship, you might have moments of confusion, and then you can come back into your healthy communication and get clarity and repair. You might have moments of hopelessness, but then you can self-regulate and communicate to your partner what you need and then repair. So there are moments where you jump into sort of the more like less good feeling parts of a relationship, but the baseline is loved, safe, and respected. If you're on the other end, where baseline, anxious, confused, and hopeless, but you have moments where you feel connected, moments where you feel loved, then it comes to the point where you want to ask yourself, like, how do I want to spend the majority of my life? What energy do I want to spend the majority of my life in? And how is this relationship actually playing out in real time, in real life? So take these green flags, absorb them, sit with them, be with them, imagine them, open the space for them, because I can tell you firsthand that I have experienced all of these. I've seen clients experience all of these, and it's possible for you too. To end these episodes, I always pull an oracle card. So this oracle card, I'm going to start shuffling the deck. If you're not familiar with oracle cards, they offer a message. And so as I shuffle, I just hold you in my energy of what is the message that the listener needs to hear today. And we'll wait to see when one pops out. Okay. So we got the Creator. If you're watching the video, I'll show the picture of the card here. But if you're not watching the video, it kind of looks like a woman with horns. Maybe I don't know. It's up for interpretation. But I'm going to read you what the message is. And as I read it, I just encourage you to sit with it. See how it lands in your body. Does any part of this message feel resonant? Like something that you can take with you for this week? The Creator comes from the depths of all beginnings. She is a creator and creation, the mother of all life. She calls you to her with a message that says it's your responsibility to create. It's not a choice. It's your imperative. Put forth new ideas, solutions, creations, and expressions into this world. Bring out your madness, genius, sadness, bliss, and messy musings. The parts of you that you hide, your gifts of perspective, intuition, novelty must be shared. It's your birthright. Show yourself. Allow what has never before been seen to be born into existence. From the deepest part of your being, the Creator lives in you. Honor her. No gift is too small. If the Creator appears and you are feeling blocked, uninspired, or dried up, you are spending too much time thinking or staying trapped in perfection and outcomes. Get out of your head. Allow yourself to rest in a spacious place. And there are no mistakes and no perfection. Allow the unexpressed to be born. So I hope that resonates with you in some amount of somewhere in your being. These cards are really beautiful to help us reconnect with our intuition and what we know inside. I want to leave you today with another recommendation for an episode that might be really helpful to take what we talked about today and really deepen your understanding. So episode 4 is called How to Have a Healthy Relationship After a Toxic One. And I'd be so interested to see what you learned from that episode and this one too. So always feel free to reach out. I'm super available for you. And until I see you in the next episode, I hope you have a wonderful day.